Good evening. I'm Reverend Marshall Truehill Jr., a lifelong New Orleanian, a resident of Mid-City neighborhood, and a member of the Goody Clancy planning team. As a member of the Goody Clancy team, I bring to this team and to the process my life's focus, experiences, beliefs, and practice of working directly with neighborhoods through congregations, through community and civic organizations, and through the City Planning Commission. Through hundreds, maybe even thousands of neighborhood meetings since 1998 as a planning commissioner, I've come to know the issues and concerns of nearly every single neighborhood in New Orleans. My passion, and that of the other members of my team, is that the voices of the neighbors in those neighborhoods are actually heard, crafted into a doable plan, and have that plan implemented. The New Orleans members of the Goody Clancy team firmly believe that this team is the best possible team to make that happen for New Orleans neighborhood. You should also know that the American Institute of Architects will soon publish a book commemorating its 150 years of service. And in the writing of that book, Goody Clancy was asked by the AIA to write the chapter on neighborhood planning. As we see it, there are several issues facing New Orleans neighborhoods today. Those are the rebuilding of the community, restoring and replenishing the housing stock, including affordable rental housing, commercial districts that enhance the quality of life in the neighborhoods, transportation that connects people to jobs, to schools, to churches, and to other neighborhoods, preserving neighborhood character. New Orleans is unlike any other neighborhood in the world. We don't have cookie-cutter neighborhoods. Every neighborhood is distinct. Every neighborhood is unique. And we believe that the character of our neighborhoods need to be preserved if the character of New Orleans is going to be preserved. We need safer neighborhoods. We're dealing with a crime spree right now. What can we do as neighbors to alter, to change this condition that we are all living with right now? We're concerned about, and you're concerned about, sustainable building materials, green building in New Orleans. We cannot afford to continue to replace our homes from floods, from termites, and other types of destructive elements against our homes. So sustainable neighborhoods. The issues are economic and jobs opportunities and disaster planning. I'd like to introduce to you the leader of our team, David Dixon, who will introduce the other members of the team and talk more about our process.
Spend relatively little time introducing the team. A bunch of us here, Angelo Byrne, Kerwin, Julian, others, people from my firm, someplace here. There are a bunch of us here. I think it's important to note that we bring a full range of technical capacity. There are all kinds of questions having to do with the environment, the sound system, no, the environment, transportation, disaster planning, et cetera. There are people on the team to answer those questions, and about 70% of the team is from New Orleans. What I want to do is spend a minute sort of introduce you to Goody Clancy, and then what I think is the real make or break of planning with you is how we plan with you, how we work with all of you to create a plan that you own, you dream, you understand, you own, and you can advocate for effectively when we're done. And I hope I'll give you a sense of how we would do that. By way of introduction, Goody Clancy is fundamentally committed to working with neighborhoods we do it with just in the last 2 or 3 years. Our work makes a difference. I can't think of any paper plans. The work we've done with neighborhoods in the last 10 years has probably created, what did we say, at least 20 million square feet of development. But most importantly, and the thing I'm probably proudest of, probably at least 14,000 units of mixed income neighborhoods. And couple people have talked about the sort of the opportunity that this terrible tragedy has brought to New Orleans, and I think one of the real opportunities in your neighborhoods where you live is to bring back a city that really is diverse economically, socially, racially, in terms of age, because as you bring your neighborhoods back, you can bring opportunities that invite all kinds of people, all of your neighbors, your family, those who made your community to come back, and others to come into your neighborhoods by creating some of the really wonderful neighborhoods that urban America has. And I hope we can leave you with the sense that we can help you do this effectively, really make a difference. The American Planning Association asked us a couple of years ago to write a planning advisory services memo for planners around the country on, if you're going to do a lot of development, how do you create community, not just development? And I think that is absolutely an issue here. Millions of square feet are going to be built in New Orleans, tens of thousands of housing units. These can be done in ways that create simply a lot of development, or they can be done in ways that bring back walkable commercial centers, neighborhoods that frame parks, and things that really create community. Well, this is a moment of pure marketing, and I hope you'll pardon this. We've won, probably in the spirit of self-congratulation, more awards than anybody else for doing planning urban design and national awards in neighborhoods in the last 5 years, and we're very proud of that, and hopefully so are the people we worked with. Thank you. So what I'd really like to focus on is how we would work with you, how we make sure that your voice is heard. Someone said that doesn't always happen earlier. And how your words become plans and actions. And I think the first stage we would start with would be right in month one with a retreat. We've been invited to work with districts or neighborhoods. We'd love to work with both. And it may take a series of Saturdays, but if we work with a district, for example, we would want to get the people who have been participating in planning to date, who bring different perspectives, who bring shared perspectives together off the record in a place away from their neighborhood to really plan, to really bond around, to get on the same page, to understand what planning's been done, what it means, what are the classic differences that have divided people, and how can we get past them, so that before we really start formal planning, everybody in the process has a chance off the record, one-on-one with each other, with us, to get on the same page. Clearly, we need to get to know you, and you need to get to know us. We'd want to spend whatever it takes, literally sitting down one-on-one or in small groups to get to know each other in an interview process that might last for a week or two, where we would just day in, day out, hour after hour, meet with you so we know each other before we are formally, next slide, in a public meeting together. The first community-wide meeting would be a chance to formally to the community introduce the team, identify the core issues that are going to really drive this process. What did we learn in that retreat? What did we learn in those interviews from each other? And to really, in effect, say, here's the program for what we're going to be doing together. But a much more important meeting, and this would, again, could be a whole Saturday, would be I'll call it, it says a little formal, a reciprocal learning workshop, but basically a chance to say, well, here are the key issues you told us you wanted to understand. How can we create mixed income housing? What would it really take to bring our friends and neighbors back to our neighborhood? How can we rebuild our commercial district so it's a great place to walk and spend time together? And we would bring in people who can answer those questions, so that people had a real working knowledge of what's involved with developing housing, what's involved in bringing retail back, what's involved in creating a next park. We would then, with that information, go, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks later, to a second Saturday all-day session where we would want to bring everybody together, representing the business community, residents, whomever, to really identify the planning elements with the information that came out in the previous workshop, so that there would be a fully educated participation at this point. This workshop and the previous workshop, we'd love to do in multiple cities, so that those of you who are away and those of you who are here in your neighborhoods can plan on the same night. using video technology to see and hear each other, and take advantage of the fact that we have a lot of senior strength in this team so that we can have senior planners in Houston, in Baton Rouge, in New Orleans, working on the same night with you and your neighbors, and you can see and hear each other both learn and then propose ideas.